Hi, I'm Joshua Loya. I'm not autistic, but I can't look you in the eye either. Well, actually, it's possible I'm autistic. I've never been tested, but I have had a difficult time with eye contact, even when I could still see. I was nearsighted in both of my eyes up until 3. Lost the vision of my right eye when I was 3 years old, and then had very nearsighted vision in my left eye. 2300 if I wore glasses. Fast forward to high school, and I was recovering from a bunch of eye surgeries and things, and over the course of last year, it was a few months out from the previous surgery, and they told me they didn't want me running or lifting weights or straining too much in the bathroom even. Yeah, that was actually a message that a doctor had really spoken to me with real words. Don't strain too hard in there. Because that would have sent me to the hospital with a retinal hemorrhage. So super fragile eyesight in that remaining eye. I was actually exempt from phys ed class. So what do? 15-year-old kid, restless, metalhead. I still like going to shows and the mosh pit and crowd surfing, all that kind of fun stuff. I grabbed a pair of nunchucks that I had bought at a pawn shop, cranked up Pantera's Far Beyond Driven album as loud as it would possibly go. I was home. My mom would not have liked it as loud as I had it, but she wasn't there. I was by myself, and I grabbed out my nunchucks, and I hit myself in my only remaining good eye. Yeah, because my right eye was still there inside my skull, but it was no longer functioning. And that was a bit of an adjustment. But here's the crazy thing, right? Like, I hate it when people say, oh, my blindness was a good thing. I learned so much. No. Okay, like, you are beautiful, whether you're blind, whether you can see a little bit, whether you can see a lot. But your blindness isn't the thing that makes you you. Your inside, your mind, your everything, that's who you are, right? So, my blindness was not a good thing, but there was a really cool thing that came out of it, because when I was younger, when I could still see, like I said, I was exempt from phys ed. I could see only about half-court basketball. I couldn't catch a basketball from further than half a court away. I wasn't really supposed to play anyway, because one hit to the head, I would have gone to the hospital. But once I learned the basics of navigating blind, and that's still a process. I forget things and need to relearn things, even at 43 years old. Then I could start enjoying risking doing the things that would have otherwise made me more likely to lose the eyesight I no longer had. So after I lost my eyesight, then I tried water skiing, dabbled with kung fu, got my belay card at a climbing gym, and I was able to go to concerts and be able to be a little bit more loose and crowd surfed more. Actually, I almost got kicked out of a POD concert because they didn't realize I was blind and they were upset that I was crowd surfing. That was fun. I eventually went on to earn, this sounds like I'm showing off, but I have 5 third-degree black belts. I'm about to test for my 4th-degree black belt with one of my instructors. I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a while. I have a purple belt in that. I've had this great level of experience throughout the last 20 years or so, give or take, doing martial arts, and that's been a huge part of my life. I would not have been able to do it as much blind. I'm sorry, sighted. I was actually able to do it better blind. Eventually went on to learn how to surf and to do a bunch of these other things. I don't say this to say hey, look at me, I'm special, I'm a comedian. Yeah, I am a comedian. Jury's out as to how funny I am, but that is something that I do. I'm able to authentically be myself on stage in front of all these strangers and appreciate that my mind works this way. I communicate well in this environment. I set a timer on my Apple Watch so that I don't run the light. All these things, I have a place where I can win. And I think the problem is when we start thinking we have to win the way other people say we have to win, right? If you're blind, you could be a piano tuner, or you could be a Braille teacher, or you could be an assistive technology trainer, which is what I was for a few years. I decided to be an adventurer, right? I know that sounds kind of goofy and silly, and how practical is that? But I quit my job in 2016 to be an adventurer. Started doing judo more, and like I said, I got into surfing. Now I'm a stand-up comic and a martial artist and a competitive surfer. Still trying to make all of that stuff work, but it's what I do. Because there is no one way to be blind. There's no one way to think. There's no one way to eat a piece of pizza. However, if you eat it with a knife and fork, if I had eyes, I'd look at you crosswise. or if I could see, I'd be mad mugging you. Let's just put it that way. But I'd still defend your right to eat pizza with a knife and fork. You can be bougie if you want to. By the way, before we end, I'm just going to suggest that you can be blind and have a sense of style. I'm wearing pretty much all black. Got black jeans, all black Chuck Taylor Converse sneakers, and black jean jacket. And I'm wearing my Punisher t-shirt with the skull logo from the Marvel series. And then I'm wearing a very dark brown studded belt with a couple of bondage rings on the front to kind of just keep it in place. But truly, navigating visually impaired or partially sighted, whatever the proper term is anymore, that was actually harder. The in-between was harder, but I found my way. I found my way blind. I found my way by loving myself and by cultivating curiosity instead of feeding the beast of anxiety. And there are some steps to do that. That's been a process for me to learn. That might be different for you. You might not even struggle with those things. But you don't have to be somebody else's picture of what blind is, of what anything is. Live your authentic self as best as you can. Love people as best you can. Love yourself especially. It's a must. And then you too can find your own way of being bold, blind, and beautiful. Thanks for listening.